Eagles offensive tackle Lane Johnson facing a 4-game suspension for testing positive for PEDs. I'm Jim Basketball with the latest ESPN headlines. We are joined on the phone by Phil Sheridan, who covers the Eagles for ESPN.com. And Phil, what is the latest of this story?
Well, the latest word is that apparently Lane Johnson has been reportedly been notified that he will be suspended pending the league's official ruling. And that has not come down yet. The league is not commenting at this point on anything. When this happens, basically the first 4 games of the season are lost without pay for Johnson. For the Eagles, it means the offensive line, they had all 5 starters start all 16 games last year during the regular season, plus a playoff game. They were talking about how important that continuity was for them last year, and now they're finding out, even before July, that they're not going to have that continuity going into the 2014 season.
Phil, this was a high draft pick. Why don't you characterize what his value was, what his production level was in his first season in Philadelphia?
Well, Johnson's the number 4 pick in the draft last year. He's a guy that went to a junior college in Texas as a quarterback and became a tight end there, and they tried him out at defensive end at some point. And then he transferred to Oklahoma, and they moved into the offensive line. So he's a guy, very athletic, sort of varied skill set. And he ran in the 4.7s at the combine that year, and was sort of a freak, athletically. And the Eagles just really love that kind of athletic, mobile lineman. Johnson was plugged right into the starter from day one. He played every game. He had his growing pains the first month of the season. Probably he would like to forget all about that, but by the end of the season, he was part of a key part of the group that led LaShawn McCoy to the NFL rushing title and helped Nick Foles emerge as the Eagles quarterback. And it's kind of a shock that this all kind of happening so fast.
Yeah, so you say he's out of the mix likely for 4 games. You talked about the Eagles now having to reshuffle things. How do they replace him in that front line?
Yeah, well, the obvious thing to do would be to have Alan Barbary, who they just re-signed to an extension, was a backup lineman. Played really well in the one extended period that he saw of action last year at left tackle when Jason Peters got hurt during a game in Green Bay. Barbary played most of the game, played pretty well. He's probably the guy. That's why they signed him. That's why they brought him back and extended his contract, because they like what he did there. So he's probably the guy that they plug in. The other alternative would be to move Todd Harriman, who's played right tackle, from right guard to right tackle, and then have Barbary fill in at right guard if they think that works better for them. They may mix and match those guys and see which is the best combination, but depth of the offensive line was not their strongest suit. The starting 5 are very good, and then there was a little bit of drop-off, so it's really going to test their ability to kind of mix and match. Phil
Sheridan covers the Philadelphia Eagles for ESPN.com. Phil, thanks for the insight.
Thank you.
Again, the Eagles lose starting tackle Lane Johnson, likely to a 4-game suspension for testing positive for PEDs. You can read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. With the latest ESPN headlines, I'm Jim Basketball.